Barron, Wisconsin, a small, peaceful town nestled in the American Midwest. With a population of just over 3,000 people, it's the kind of place where families settle down to raise children, where neighbors greet each other by name, and where violent crime is almost unheard of. At the heart of this quiet community lived the Closs family, James, Denise, and their 13-year-old daughter, Jayme. James and Denise Closs were hardworking, devoted parents. Both were employed at the local Jennie-O Turkey store. Their daughter, Jayme, was an energetic, bright young girl who loved playing volleyball, dancing, and ice skating. The Closs family lived a life that many would describe as the perfect American dream. Their home was modest, but full of love, and their bond was strong. But what the Closs family didn't know was that their peaceful life had caught the attention of a stranger. A 21-year-old man named Jake Patterson, living about an hour away in the town of Gordon, Wisconsin, had become obsessed with Jayme. He first saw her by chance, riding the school bus one day. That single moment was enough for Jake to develop a dangerous fixation. Jake had no prior criminal record, no known history of violence, and had never met the Closs family. Yet, in his mind, he created a twisted fantasy. He decided that he would have Jayme, no matter the cost. Over the next several weeks, Jake began to stalk the Closs home. He drove there multiple times, studying their routines, learning the layout of the property, and planning his attack. Each visit brought him closer to the night that would forever change the Closs family's life. On the night of October 15, 2018, Jake Patterson set his plan into motion. He shaved his head and wore black clothing and a ski mask to avoid leaving any traceable evidence. He even removed the license plates from his car. Armed with a shotgun, he approached the Closs residence shortly after 1 a.m. Inside, the Closs family was sleeping. They had no idea that danger was approaching. Jake forced his way into the home. James Closs went to the front door to confront the intruder and was shot dead immediately. Denise and Jayme fled to the bathroom, barricading themselves inside. Denise managed to call 911, but she couldn't speak. The dispatcher could only hear chaotic sounds, screams, movement, and then silence. By the time police arrived at the scene, they found a horror show. James Closs was dead near the entrance. Denise had also been killed. Jayme was gone. After murdering her parents, Jake Patterson abducted Jayme and forced her into the trunk of his car. As he drove away from Barron, he passed multiple police vehicles speeding toward the crime scene. Jake later confessed that he was mere seconds away from being caught. He brought Jayme to his remote cabin in the woods of Gordon, over 70 miles away. The cabin was isolated, surrounded by thick trees and far from any neighbors. There, Jayme was held captive for 88 days. Jake constructed a cruel system to keep Jayme hidden. He forced her to crawl under his bed, where he blocked the space with laundry bins filled with weights to prevent her from escaping. She was not allowed to make any noise. Whenever Jake had visitors or left the cabin, Jayme had to stay hidden in the cramped space for hours at a time, sometimes up to 12 hours, without food, water, or access to a bathroom. He threatened her constantly. If she tried to escape, he said he would kill her. Jayme lived in a constant state of fear. Despite the unbearable conditions, she remained alert. She remembered details, she paid attention, and she waited. Meanwhile, back in Barron, the community was in shock. Hundreds of volunteers joined search parties, hoping to find any trace of Jayme. The FBI got involved, and national news outlets picked up the story. But as days turned into weeks and weeks into months, hope began to fade. There were false alarms, leads that led nowhere, and moments of despair. But Jayme was still alive, and she was holding on. She knew that if she waited for the right moment, she might have a chance to escape. On January 10th, 2019, nearly 3 months after she was abducted, Jayme saw her chance. Jake told her he would be gone for a few hours. When he left, Jayme crawled out from under the bed, pushed aside the heavy bins, and fled the house, barefoot and lightly dressed in the freezing Wisconsin winter. As she ran down a nearby road, she encountered a woman walking her dog. That woman, Jean Nutter, immediately recognized Jayme from news reports. She brought her to a nearby home where they called 911. Jayme told the police everything: who had taken her, where she had been, and what had happened to her parents. Shortly after, Jake Patterson was arrested. He confessed in full detail. He told investigators that he saw Jayme once on a school bus and decided that she was the one. He admitted to stalking the family and carrying out the murders and kidnapping with chilling premeditation. In May 2019, Jake Patterson was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge described his actions as one of the most heinous crimes the state had ever seen. There was no redemption, no excuse. Jake showed no signs of remorse. Jayme's strength and bravery were widely praised. She had endured the unimaginable, yet she survived. Her story became one of resilience and hope. She went to live with her aunt and tried to rebuild her life away from the spotlight. Though her road to recovery is long, Jayme has shown the world what courage looks like. In the end, this is not just a story of horror, it's a story of survival. Jayme Closs, a 13-year-old girl from a small town, outsmarted a killer and reclaimed her freedom. And in doing so, she reminded us all that even in the darkest times, light can still break through.